Hello everybody, my name is MrStormCrow and welcome to the channel. We're going to be doing, I believe, episode 2 of the Tor Network series, I guess you could call it, where I just roam around and see what we can find and just some interesting reads, maybe some interesting videos. We'll have to figure it out as the series sort of progresses, but I'm going to sort of talk about how to do this properly. Episode 1, I didn't really talk about exactly how you can maneuver around the dark web. I actually told you guys, oh, if you're just on the Tor network, it's completely fine, which I probably shouldn't because there is a proper way, and I'm going to showcase that using like a virtual machine. So if you haven't heard of that, it's kind of like a computer within a computer, and I'll be showing that in a little bit. By the way, hopefully the new setup is a little okay. I will be getting a better camera soon. It's just, times are tight, right, with COVID. So other than that, let us begin, shall we? Okay, so never mind this. But right now, I want to sort of focus on this. The whole reason why we're kind of in this episode is how to do this properly if you are going to use the Tor network. It's not for everybody, but if you want to, I'm going to actually sort of showcase what I do, and I use a virtual machine. Pretty much, it's just a computer within a computer. I also use this for my university for Proctorio. I don't like that thing. It's just a privacy concern of mine, so I also use this whole virtual machine for school in itself. But generally, it's pretty easy. All you need is get an ISO from Microsoft. So if you know this whole download from Microsoft for Windows 10, you can do that and convert it into an ISO format, which essentially, if you think about it, if you've seen those PS2 emulators, they kind of do this. So you download it, it's an ISO, which means I believe it's like convertible, so it's easier to access for Windows. And pretty much once you figure it out and you import the ISO into here, the virtual box, this is what you get. And of course, you can tweak it depending on your setup. If you have a really good computer, of course, you want to bump up some of the settings from, I believe, the video memory and the graphics. But other than that, and the base memory and the processor. But other than that, it's pretty easy, and it's really easy because the virtual machine helps you a lot in terms of privacy concerns, and we're going to be going over some other stuff as well, which I'm going to be really glad to show you guys. So again, skipping this portion, let's just continue on to our main portion of the show, if you could say that, and let's just sort of go to these websites. Again, I do not condone any of these things. Do not do them. They are illegal. I'm going to probably put before this video, I'm actually going to put like, don't do this, blah, 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 illegal, whatever. But here is apparently gummies, in specific THC infused. So this is $60. That's a little expensive for gummies, but these are the Med Rob Hot gummies, 1,000 milligrams. The things we're most excited about our new gummies is that we are now infusing all of our gummies with raw THC. Raw THC, that sounds a little concerning, but anyways, cooking with the distilled and it being tasteless and colorless ensures that our edibles will be extremely consistent with the dosage, flavor, and color with each. So this is interesting. The only problem is because it's so decentralized, you never know what you're really getting. And in fact, it could just be an FBI agent just waiting outside your door. But from what it looks like, they actually have a really interesting setup here for their site, which is very surprising. As you can see, they have a cannabis flower, which let's actually check that out real quick. I don't know what this cannabis flower is, but it's looking, I don't know if it's the real flower, is it? Oh, maybe not. This is apparently Gorilla. Okay, so they got like a couple of components here. Is this what it is? And it looks like people have been buying them. I don't know, though. They could just be trying to prop up their advertisement saying it is. But for the most part, this website is apparently for medical and recreation. Ah, shut up. I don't need an activation for Windows. But from what it's looking like, the site mainly is for recreational use. It's not like... it's recreational use, and it's also for medicinal reasons, but I think this is pretty illegal unless you're in states where it is legalized. But yeah, it's looking like they got the whole deal here. They got cookies, peanut butter cups, s'mores. Oh my god. They got what they got? They got chews? What is this, like bubble gum? I can add to the cart. I'm not going to buy it, but I'm just saying. But dude, this is interesting. I'm not saying, I'm gonna gut this, but I'm just saying like this is really interesting. I don't know how exactly this works. So this is one of the reasons I don't like the dark web, nor will I be ever buying anything from here. But one of the issues that you have with these sites is you don't know how exactly they're going to send you your shipment and how exactly you can confirm it. I'm assuming that this is going to be through Bitcoins. And actually, let's just sort of take a look here how this exactly works just to see what the process is. So this is like $40, Jesus. And let's see what happens if I were to proceed to checkout. So we're also going to have to pay for shipping. But this is one of the things. Is it just generally for Bitcoin? That's my question. And it looks like, it's for Bitcoin. But the weird issue is how exactly can you trust them? Because again, there's no regulations for the dark web. This is pretty much the wild, wild west. And while sometimes I do love the wild, wild west, this may be a way where I may not like it, right? You're providing them information and who knows what is really going to happen. But again, as you can see, there's no email. It's just your name, subject, and your message, and that's pretty much it for this site called Wacky Weed. So let's actually go with our second site for today, and let's see what happens. All right, you guys know the whole meme with what was that, Pete dude for the green screen? He's like, "Yo, give me the back 4 digits of your credit card number." Well, turns out he made a website, joking aside, voiceover Pete. But apparently this one is where you can buy premium credit cards, also debit, generally everything when it comes to cards. I don't know how this works, but apparently, let's just read their information. We are probably the first DeepWeb prepaid card seller. What we do is preload the cards with funds, so there are a few major advantages which transform these cards and give us and our customers the opportunity to cash them out risk-free. There is no previous owner. Bullshit. Obviously, we cannot reveal the source of the funds, but we can assure you the funds have been 100% mixed and cleaned before we load them up onto brand new prepaid cards. So I'm pretty sure that this is not real. You want to know why? Because it sounds too good to be real. They are giving you pretty much, from the sound of it, free money. And as from what I remember, money can only be printed on one thing, a machine, by the American government. So I don't know how this exactly works. I don't think it does work, by the way. Full refund? Yeah, true. Yeah, sure, you're going to be doing that. Chip and magnetic? Yeah. So I don't think this is real. Yeah, and it's like, you got Visa, Amex, and MasterCard. So I don't know how exactly... This seems really sketchy. I'm not going to lie. This is probably one of the ones where I could tell this isn't real because, again, why would they give you free money? Unless this is literally, I don't know, some like rich dude who's a socialist who wants to give you free money, then maybe, I guess. But like this site seems really shady. I mean, they got a website. I mean, they got an email, which means... which means they may be legit after all. But I don't know. It just seems really far-fetched because they're pretty much just giving you free money. In a way. So they're selling essentially prepaid cards. And I feel as if, there's that whole saying, if it's too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. It doesn't look like it. Almost they have some, I don't know, if this is literally some employee from Visa, maybe. But I don't see how this can possibly be, something that you could buy and actually expect, right? Like, I mean, it's great pictures, even though they look like from 2005, but, I'm just saying it does not look good to be true. And another thing we'll go over in this video is Proton email. You'll see sometimes in the contacts, it says at Proton, well, actually not Proton email, but Proton mail. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit, actually, after this. So I guess without further ado, let's begin. All right, so this is something that's on the clear web, but if you don't know, this is just information. One of the things that people do in the dark web is they need emails, right? So what they do is they try to find the most secure, credible website or email service that they can find. And one of these is Proton Mail. Maybe it's for nefarious reasons. Maybe it's for great reasons. I don't know. But one of the things that they advertise on Proton Email being secure and based in Switzerland. I don't know why you need to know it's in Switzerland, but it's in Switzerland. And pretty much it's like one of the most secure ways of communicating. And a lot of them use this site for the dark web. I'm not going to log in and sign up because I don't really want to. And plus I forgot my credentials, so I don't know. But one of the things they do is they offer like a VPN too. And it's really great for people that use the dark web. It gets really complicated when you use the dark web because you're kind of like finding a loophole for everything in a way. So it's like almost a lot more work than if you were to do it the right way. But yeah, that's one of the things about the dark web, which is very weird, is you have to go through lots of hoops. And again, one of those hoops is finding a website or an email provider called Proton Mail, and then you have to find a certain address, and of course, it's just like old school emails. And I guess that makes sense when you're on a decentralized website, but yeah, like typically a lot of people don't use Hotmail, they don't use Gmail, because again, it's a risk because I believe if the FBI were to do a warrant, they will go into your email. But I don't think it can. I don't know if that could really be a thing with Proton Mail because again, like I think Proton Mail apparently is more credential wise and it's a little bit more secure because it's on a foreign country. So, yeah, that's something. Another thing I do want to let you know is for some people, if they don't know, like I guess for you guys, if you don't know, some ways that people make websites here instead of actually just doing like a Visual Studio, as in like they're making their code by scratch, is apparently there are sites where you can just make a website. And one of these is TorPress. I don't know how widespread use it is, but apparently it's a new project by Tor VPS to make the creation of WordPress-based sites even easier. So I'm guessing that what people do is they'll use WordPress and they'll transfer it using this provider here. Again, you're gonna have to probably pay for the the hosting, and you'll find like ways of doing that on the dark web through like some list you'll find. But yeah, as you can see, apparently people are saying like this is from 2016. Damn, this is a long time ago. Hi, would like to know if a site view counter could be added to the widgets. And again, there's not a lot of comments, but again, these are from 2016. I don't know if this still works, but it seems like one of the methods that they did, or they probably still do, is they use WordPress and try to transfer it through some provider, such as this. Yeah, and again, it seems like if I were to click on this, it should give me the site unless it's invalid because it's been a while. Because again, yeah. So it seems like this has been a while. But again, the whole concept is that they would essentially use WordPress. Or again, this is an example of a site they would use to make their website. And that's how it's all done pretty much. So let's read. Over the 3 years that Tor VPS has been operating, WordPress blogs are by far the most common site that people have chosen to host. To make this process even easier, TorPress will allow people to register WordPress sites. They'll be available on subdomains.torpress2 sarn7xw.onion. So these are like the free domains. And then you have this even on the ClearWebs. ClearWebs, you'll have like, what's an example? I keep forgetting some sites, but they'll have like a weird domain at the end. And that's how you know it's like a free host. So then usually it's really rare to find those because again, usually for the host to host a website, it actually does cost money. So I guess this is what they do is they just find like one of those sites and they offer like a free domain because it looks so weird. And usually if it looks weird, like the domain name at the end, right? It doesn't say .com. It says like .onion.bb. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like for the clear sites that you visit all the time, it'll show up like that. And that's how you know it's like a free, they use like a free domain site, if that makes sense, right? But anyways, yeah, it seems like they're just talking about you can find these domains for free on these available areas. And then right now, the registration system requires a valid email address. It will almost certainly be unable to deliver to any mail outside of Onion Land. Therefore, to register, it is highly recommended to sign up for a free email account at Torbox or SIGINT. And if you use SIGINT, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, be sure to use the .onion email address. So yeah, it seems like time has changed quite a lot. I don't know if Torbox is still up. I honestly don't even know if these are still up. They're probably dead because this blog was like in 2016. I guess this one actually still is alive. And as you can see, this is an email operating in the actual dark web to be apparently more secure. Accessible from Tor, yeah. So I guess you could use Proton email, but you could also use this one. But this is very interesting. As you can see, we're exploring the web. And one of these is a account. Not an account, but a website where you can make an account for your emails. So this is really interesting. It's just, man, I remember the format for these websites a long time. For HTML, man. These things are really giving me nostalgia, man. I remember these sites were like so simple, and then now we have like a lot more complicated, more fun-looking sites on the clear web. But man, this is giving me a nostalgia trip. I'm not gonna lie for the web design. But as you can see, those are pretty much the sites. This may not be much for today, but I wanted to sort of just give an indication of how to sort of traverse the web if you want, using like a virtual machine. But another way of doing it, again, if you don't know, is you can just use the Tor client as it is on your desktop. But I would probably prefer you to use a virtual machine. It's a lot safer. There's really rare times for it to be exploited, right? Because I've heard people getting in trouble for using the Tor client on their computer without a virtual machine, and usually sometimes they can't go to jail. I don't know. So I typically just use a virtual machine just to be a little safe because there are hackers sometimes, rarely, but it does happen. And also, again, remember how we saw Invidious? Invidious was this thing where you could actually view videos, and apparently it's still really active. It's like shared 1 hour ago. So it seems while the dark web is quite slow and it can be quite problematic, it still seems that people are using it for interesting reasons. And we'll even go on to some more illegal stuff probably in the next videos. And of course, don't do it. But we're going to view those things and see exactly how it works. We kind of did it with the weed, I guess. But we're going to go into some other territories. So again, if you want, be sure to subscribe, be sure to like, favorite, share to someone if you want. And we're going to revisit some other areas of the web that probably people shouldn't. And we're going to see what goes on in that area. So without further ado, that is it for the video. If you want, again, subscribe, put notifications on, because apparently subscribing doesn't even give you notifications. It just is, I don't know, it's just a random point system. So be sure to click the bell. That way you get notifications for our new video. Been slightly, unfortunately, a little slow with the content. So thank you for sort of holding it and your patience. But other than that, that is going to be it. Thank you for watching the video. Really appreciate it, guys. And I will see you guys later. Peace out.